While everyone was having fun building out their shiny new operators, I was stuck building out a physical team with the 2 starting units in Arknights Endfield because the gotcha gods decided to send me Mr. Poe and an Ember rather than a last right with my potential 3 Zai-He. Turns out, this ended up being a blessing in disguise because physical teams have been nothing but performant. And actually, something else I wasn't quite expecting was Chen Qianyu's consistent value in this team. Oftentimes, my team would sit on the sidelines waiting for those vulnerability stacks to come in before they're able to use their kits. It's one thing to have that analysis, but it's another thing to play it out and realize how important it is. So wherever you are in building out your physical team, today's video will walk you through everything you need to know about Chen Qianyu, right after this message from my sponsor, lootbar.gg. Lootbar is a recharge platform with cheap prices for buying your classic top-ups. They're giving out coupons for new users, and they have an after-sale service to help with any problems. With the release of Arknights Endfield, we can see that the price of the most expensive top-up is $70. But on Lootbar, you can find the $70 pack for a little over $53. This is a discount of almost 24%, making top-ups that much more affordable. Adding to that, they have good reviews on Trustpilot and a detailed self-top-up process. So if you're considering buying premium currency for your favorite games, use my link in the description to sign up for Lootbar. As always, remember to stay safe and spend responsibly. Back to the video. Chen Qianyu is a 5-star physical operator that excels in a sub-DPS role while tacking on repeated vulnerability application. Now, when you look at her kit, even though she has 2 sources of vulnerability, the value is lopsided towards her combo skill. This is because her battle skill has its own weakness of being what effectively can be considered a single target ability. There's also the consideration that any first application of a physical status will always give a vulnerability stack, meaning other operators can also trigger her combo skill through their own skills, which may hit for a wider range or offer better damage than Chen Qianyu's battle skill. For this reason, her value is often reduced down to her combo skill during analysis. And considering her ultimate, which is also single target, I've found that many players have overlooked her. For starters, her sub-DPS numbers are nothing to scoff at, capable of bringing smaller enemies into kill range and dealing significant damage to elite enemies. Her combo skill also significantly speeds up your rotations and is a staple to any early-game physical team. When we take a look at her battle skill and combo skill, both apply Lift, a physical status that does not consume vulnerability stacks, making her perfect for setting up 4 stacks of vulnerability for another operator to consume them with either Crush or Breach. This is actually more important than it seems, because the difference between a 1-stack Crush and a 4-stack Crush is ginormous. So being able to apply your physical statuses with the maximum vulnerability stacks will be the difference between being able to clear content quickly and effectively versus spamming your skill buttons, panicking as the enemy charges up their next attack. For instance, she's able to comfortably set up a Mr. Poe team for a 4-stack Crush during the duration of his 3-stack Breach, and certainly during a 4-stack Breach, partially enabled by the additional skill points that come from Mr. Poe's kit. Being able to link these 2 statuses together multiplies their value, so these 2 would be in the center of it, pulling it all together. To showcase what this is going to look like, here is an example of my physical team going against Rodan. Chen Qianyu is able to follow up on Ember's combo skill, applying the 2nd stack of vulnerability. After using her own battle skill, the enemy is now at 3 vulnerability stacks. While Breach is applied and we wait for additional skill points, as long as we wait for her combo skill to come off cooldown, we're able to be extremely skill point efficient while stacking up vulnerability once again for a Crush. When it comes to her skill priorities for leveling, I would honestly level up all of her abilities simultaneously as a sub-DPS. Trying to hyper-optimize for leveling specific skills doesn't really apply in this case, because her damage share doesn't seem to be heavily skewed towards any particular ability, and the goal is just to deal more damage. Now that you understand Chen Qianyu's capabilities, it's time to step into her best team compositions. And the team I'm currently running is certainly one of her better options at the moment. Mr. Po and Chen Qianyu serve as the centerpieces, effectively supporting the main DPS by applying breach and vulnerability stacks. Endman would be a suitable main DPS to round this composition out, having the ability to crush and providing massive AoE that contributes to more staggers. You could also put Da Pan into the main DPS role, since his combo skill heavily appreciates having vulnerability application. By the way, since Chen Qianyu excels at vulnerability application, this also means any vulnerability-reliant character in the future should also slot her in on their team. But yeah, Li Feng can also be slotted into this team in place of the main DPS for what would be a triple sub-DPS comp with Mr. Po, or even replacing Mr. Po's role as a sub-DPS, offering physical susceptibility and his own ultimate burst damage. For sustain options, Ember or Ardelia are going to fill that slot. If you have Ember, I'd save Ardelia for your other team compositions when we inevitably get to multi-team endgames, but Ember's going to have a very convenient vulnerability application in her combo skill, and Ardelia provides physical susceptibility herself. Now, I know that these teams can feel a bit messy at first, but once you play around with their combo chains, these comps will make a lot more sense. But let's go over Chen Qianyu's best gear options, and she's going to have a few. The one I would recommend is Swordmancer. This set has a very supportive effect, amplifying the wearer's stagger efficiency. Considering Chen Qianyu's best use cases, I would recommend this set to further amplify her teammates as a vulnerability applier. The first and secondary stats also line up with her desired attributes, which gives her additional attack. If you wanted some other options or playstyles, I was looking into Ethertech for its vulnerability synergy, but I think that set is a bit of a trap with the wrong stats, and ideally, those vulnerability stacks are there to be consumed, so I wouldn't recommend this set. Other than that, there's MI Security, which you may want to consider if you are running Chen Qianyu with Rapid Ascent, since the crit rate boost on that weapon will add on to this set's effect. I would take a look at Bone Crusher as well, since it matches with her desired attributes, and oftentimes you will use her combo skill twice before her battle skill, especially if you're trying to be skill point efficient. I'm running a full Swordmancer set personally, but you can always replace one of the kits with a piece from another set in the future. Onto weapon options, I have Sundering Steel equipped on her because it is one of her best synergies in the game at the moment. Because of Chen Qianyu's constant physical status uptime, you're going to be able to reach the cap on this effect incredibly easily, and it also has an agility stat boost for her main stat. For all intents and purposes, this is going to be the weapon that 99% of players should use just from its inherent synergies and the fact that it was given for free during the pre-draw event. If you need another option though, or missed out on the pre-draw, 4-star weapon Contingent Measure is the least you should settle with, giving the right stats but with 4-star scaling. For other 5 stars, Aspirant is really the only other one that stands out to me, giving significant ultimate damage for operators that have the ability to lift. For 6 stars, nothing really seems to synergize with her too well, so you would mostly want to build the ones that have the correct stats just to be a stat stick, but Rapid Ascent does propose an interesting build alternative with the MI Security set mentioned before. So yeah, that pretty much concludes my Chen Qianyu guide. This was the first ever character guide on my channel, so please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions in the comments down below. I've been helplessly addicted to this game, so if you want to see more Endfield content, remember to drop a like and subscribe to help support the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.